It's your girl Desi Des, and this is 7 jobs that will improve an introvert's flexibility skills. Let's get into it. Based on my research and things that I've learned from past experiences on the job, there are certain skills that are considered hirable when employers are looking to hire employees. Last time we talked about the jobs that will improve decision-making skills. So this time we are going to talk about jobs that will improve flexibility skills. It is an important skill to have to be flexible or quick to accept change in the workplace. Sometimes things happen and we have to be adjustable as employees. Now, I'm not saying just let every change that's gonna happen. No, there are some cases where the changes might not be best and it needs to be voiced. But in this case, it is considered a hirable skill, and it's something that you at least need to have a little sense of. Adjustments, accommodations. If they say we're gonna change this, then it needs to be like, okay, let's pivot. Now this one is really hard for an introvert because we like to be prepared for things. So when we're prepared for something and then it automatically changes or all of a sudden shifts, then that may be difficult for some of us to kind of accept when that time comes. And that is why this is a skill that introverts need to work on. I wouldn't say the most, but it's important because, like I said, we like to be prepared. And so when things start shifting and moving around, we're like, okay, this is not instability that we signed up for. Flexibility is a great skill to have in the workplace, but an even greater skill to have even just in life, because sometimes things just don't go as planned. So here are 7 jobs just to kind of help you master that flexibility skill. Coming in hot at number 1, substitute teacher. Now, I was going to find a way to put teacher in there somewhere, and so here we are, substitute teacher. Being a teacher requires a lot of on-the-spot changes and decision making. If a lesson doesn't work, you gotta throw it out. If a seating arrangement is causing havoc, you gotta change it. If the kids are having a bad day, maybe it's time to do an activity to perk everybody up, get their brain moving, get their bodies moving, bring some excitement into the room. Then on top of that, outside of the classroom, if administration has to make changes, then teachers have to adjust. Now, the best part about being a substitute is that you just kind of come in every now and then, and it's usually not at the same school unless you have a temporary / long-term / permanent assignment. Sometimes you can be a substitute at the same place for 1 month or 2 months, but usually substitutes travel to different schools to cover that classroom and be in that district. And so there's a lot of changes that come along with that. Like I just mentioned, there's changes with the districts, they have different rules, there are changes with the schools, there's changes with the ages. One day as a substitute teacher, you could be substituting a kindergarten class. The next day you could be substituting 8th grade. That's why it is important to be flexible in the workplace, especially as a substitute teacher, because there's a lot of changes consistently happening and going on that you just have to adjust, because that's the nature of the job. Now, this is a really good place to start if you don't want to be a full-on teacher quite yet and have your own classroom, and you just kind of want to get a feel. You just got your degree, you just got your teaching license, and you kind of just want to see maybe which grade you want to do. Then being a substitute teacher is perfect. It will help you increase those flexibility skills in no time. Even if you do it for a short period, you will learn how to quickly adjust to the changes that go along with it. Number 2, an executive assistant. An executive assistant is just what the title implies. An assistant to the executives. That's the VPs, the CEOs, the CFOs, and other executives, etc. This type of assistant needs to be super flexible because things are consistently changing. 1 minute, this assistant can be making travel arrangements, and the next minute, an assistant can be preparing slides for a presentation. that may happen sooner than what the executives expected. And so there has to be a sense of flexibility as well as learning to do different things, because a lot of executive assistants have to be able to do everything. Almost everything administrative an assistant has to know how to do. Even the learning curve that comes with that will require a lot of flexibility. If you don't know how to create slides for a presentation, you'll have to be flexible and learn how to do that. Now, it doesn't require a degree to be an executive assistant, but it does require a lot of experience because of the skills that you have to get up to that next level. It takes a whole lot to be an executive assistant. So not only will you gain flexibility skills, but you'll also gain the other skills that I've talked about previously. Number 3, housekeeper. A housekeeper is the upkeeper of any home. That includes cleaning, organizing, and sometimes cooking. Now, being a housekeeper won't take much flexibility if you work for the same family long term, but if you decide to be a housekeeper that branches out and does many different homes, many different times of the day in many different areas, then it's going to require a lot of flexibility. On top of that, it's going to require adjustments to a lot of different sized homes. Some homes may be a little less organized than others. Some homes may require more cooking. Some homes may be more organized or more clean to where you just go in, you dust a little bit, and it's just more of an upkeep. Either way, you have to be flexible because sometimes you don't know what you're going to get, especially as new clients keep coming in. This is a perfect job for an introvert, especially because there's not a lot of social interaction besides the initial meeting. There is no degree required to be a housekeeper, but you do have to understand contracts, labor laws, and get some kind of lawful protection as a freestanding housekeeper. So if you like to clean, if you like to organize, you like to cook a little bit, then being a housekeeper will be a perfect job for you. Number 4, delivery driver. Ask any delivery driver if they have the exact same day every day, and I'm sure they'll tell you no. Even if a delivery driver has the exact same route every single day, it's the customers and the experiences on the road that make it a job that requires a lot of flexibility. From sitting in traffic to having to go a different route because of construction, to having to come back to someone's home because they wasn't there to sign for their initial package. Takes a lot to be a delivery driver, and a lot of flexibility is required. A lot of delivery jobs do not require a degree, but some do require a degree and a CDL license. If this is something that you want to do, as an introvert, this is actually perfect because there's not a lot of customer interaction. There's enough, but it's usually mostly just you in your truck, driving, taking things to where they need to go. And so it'll help your flexibility as well as your communication because you will trickle in those social interactions with customers as they come. Number 5, photographer. Taking pictures any and everywhere and as a freelancer requires so much flexibility. From adapting to last-minute venue changes to making adjustments because you brought certain equipment based on the details, but it was either not enough equipment or too much equipment. There are never 2 photo shoots that are the same. They may be very similar, but they're never the same. And so that requires a lot of flexibility. And so if you're a creative and an introvert, this is a perfect job for you. You go, you set your own schedule, you take pictures, you do the initial meeting of what it is that your clients need, and then you go and you just be a fly on the wall, taking pics of whatever event you were hired to take pics of. Photography is not easy by any means, but you don't need a degree to do it. All you need is a good camera and some skills. And so in order to get those skills, you might want to read up on, aperture, depth of field, figure out which filters you like best, different things like that. Because you want the pictures to look good, especially if it's your job. Number 6, personal trainer. A personal trainer is someone that helps a person reach their health and fitness goals. From nutrition to exercise, a personal trainer switches up their routines and their suggestions from person to person. Similar to a photographer where no 2 photo shoots are the same, no 2 people are the same and will require the same diet plan or exercise plan. So that's going to take a lot of flexibility to work through that. These kind of plans are not a one-size-fits-all. Personal trainers have to be flexible and have to really get to know their clients to see what it is they need. The flexibility also comes in if a personal trainer has to meet their person at their home or a different facility or another gym. Because personal trainers create their own schedule, they have to be flexible in all of those areas. It doesn't take a degree to become a personal trainer, but it will be very beneficial for you to have one, especially one where you're learning the body, where you're learning nutrition, where you're a pro, master of exercise and tips. You don't need a degree, but it will be very good to have that knowledge so that you can be really, really good at your job and really set you apart. Being a personal trainer requires a lot of flexibility. It'll help you gain that muscle. If you want to actually help people and you like fitness and exercise, then this will be a perfect job for you. It's also really good for introverts because we like that intimate one-on-one relationships with people, especially our clients, and you get to work for yourself. So even better. Number 7, a real estate agent. A real estate agent is someone who helps people buy and sell homes. I imagine this job requires a lot of flexibility because many things change in the housing market. Someone may be trying to sell their home and then they change their mind. Someone may be trying to buy a home and then they change their mind on which home it is that they actually like right in the middle of closing. And so now as a real estate agent, you have to pivot and be flexible to whatever changes may happen. Also, in the housing market, a house's sale price may increase or decrease from the initial number that it was at. And so the whole process of buying and selling homes will take a lot of flexibility. You don't need a degree to become a real estate agent, but there is extensive training, and I do believe there's an exam that you have to take to get your license. And so this might be a good place to jump into if you're switching careers, or if you suddenly have an interest in real estate, this will be perfect as well. It's also good for introverts because, again, it's that close-knit relationship with one-on-one clients and making sure that you're providing the best service for each client. You also can create your own schedule, have your own client list, and have your own business as a real estate agent. Being flexible and adapting to changes teaches you how to quickly accommodate your customers with what they may need. And this is why this is considered a hirable skill. And that is the ultimate result of flexibility, providing top-notch service to your customers because you don't have any problem accommodating to what it is they may need. And that may be the secret sauce to mastering customer service, being flexible and willing to go the extra mile. So there you have it, 7 jobs that will teach you how to become more flexible and accommodating in the workplace. There are plenty of jobs that accommodate introverts, but I want to emphasize it's the skills that we get from these jobs that make it worthwhile. Introversion should not be a barrier to keep us from making that money. So if flexibility is a skill needed, then flexibility is a skill we are going to become great at. Like I always say, if we do what we need to do now, we can do what we want to do later. So chalk it up to the game and get those skills needed to be successful. And then go home and take a nap, because I know you're tired. Introverts, we are going to be okay. Until next time, Thanks for watching.